The Ukrainian Volunteer Army has officially declared that after 4 years of war, they are finally demobilizing. Right now, we're in the village of Yurivka in the Donetsk region, near the Azov Sea, where the 8th Separate Battalion of the Ukrainian Volunteer Army, or UVA, is based. We've come here to find out whether the 5th and 8th Battalions of the UVA, essentially the only volunteer battalions left at the contact line, are really leaving.
Батальйон, рівняй, струнко, слава Україні! Героям слава! До молитви.
Drill, prayer, assignments, some to the contact line, others to training or work on the base. This is how every day has begun for the past 4 years and 4 months. They've never left as part of their rotation.
Зенек, сбрасывай темп, переходи на обычный, понял? Переходи на обычный темп, все, спокойно работай, 10 кругов. Продышались? Все, побежали, время придет. Работа с общей выносливостью, каждодневные пробежки.
There's endurance training every day, running, target practice, 8 kilometers minimum. From 8 to 15, sometimes a bit more.
Иногда бывает чуть больше.
The 5th and 8th battalions of the UVA were formed after the right sector split in 2015, and the organisation's former leader, Dmytro Yarosh, founded the Ukrainian Volunteer Army. Now one battalion is stationed near the Donetsk airport and the other near Mariupol on the Azov Sea. They are among the few volunteer fighters who remain at the contact line. While the regular army practices rotation, they've stayed in position for the past 4+ years since the war began. Now the volunteers say this is their first official demobilization, after which the 2 battalions will cease to exist.
Ми розуміємо, що так продовжуватися, напевно, далі не може.
We understand that we can't keep going like this. We've exhausted our material and human resources. We get it and we're bringing this to an end.
So you're demobilizing and that's it?
Yes, the Ukrainian Volunteer Army is officially over. No more mentions of the 5th or the 8th battalions on Facebook or the internet. It's all over and we are dispersing into the fields of the Donbass.
Those who aren't training at the base right now are at the contact line, although we can't reveal where. Officially, they've been gone from the line for a long time. We're going to find out what it's like to demobilize after 4 years of war. Here we meet Bieli, who we've known since 2014. Then he was fighting with the Aidar battalion in the Luhansk region, but he refused to sign a contract with the Ukrainian Armed Forces and joined the UVA. 2 months ago, he was injured by a landmine during a reconnaissance mission.
I stepped on a mine and lost my leg.
June said you were scouting out the opponent's trenches.
I stepped on an anti-personnel mine they had planted.
When did it happen?
A couple of months ago.
And you've come back already?
Yeah, I came back before. I ran away from the hospital and came back for a couple of days.
And now, what are you doing here?
I'm here for a week and then going to get my documents in order.
Will you come back?
Yes, I'll get a prosthetic leg and will come back, of course.
Most of the volunteers consider themselves nationalists, although they fought side by side with citizens of other countries, even Russians, and with Roma and Jews. We ask Bear about the Nazi tattoo on his chest, but he just laughs it off. They say that here, at the front, ideology is secondary to the enemy they all have in common, and everyone here knows what to do with this enemy. We ask how they're preparing for this first demobilization and about their plans for after.
Demobilization. It means discharge into the reserves, I think, according to the terminology of the Ukrainian Armed Forces.
And what does it mean for the UVA?
I don't know. It's never happened before. We'll see.
You've never encountered demobilization in over 4 years at war.
That's what it's officially called, the demobilization of the UVA. Officially, we're not even here, and we've never been here at the contact line, right?
But you're here, standing with the Marines.
Well, that's not a legal question. We stand by everybody. Whoever's here, we stand by them. We are attached to Shirokine. This is the village of Shirokine, and we are its community.
But there's no one left in Shirokine.
But the community has stayed, the fans of the village.
But after all, as far as I understand, nothing will actually change after this demobilization.
Nothing will change.
But actually, what are you doing here?
Whatever needs to be done. We fight, we dig trenches. It's a wide spectrum.
The Ukrainian army rotates divisions in these positions twice a year. So far, nobody has said that the volunteers are in their way. In fact, they say the opposite. But talking about the presence of the UVA fighters at the contact line is considered inappropriate.
We've been dealing with volunteers since 2014. We work well together, and I think we'll continue to.
But how does this cooperation work? As far as I understand, the volunteers can't stay here.
We cooperate on a different level now. We can't violate the orders of the higher army command, but we still see each other and resolve certain issues. We can't violate the orders of the higher army command, but we still see each other and resolve certain issues for the sake of our common purpose. This cooperation needs to be legalized. We need to find some points of contact.
Do you have any ideas?
Me? I have some ideas, but I won't share them here.
Members of the Ukrainian Volunteer Army say they are demobilizing so as not to interfere with the Ukrainian president's international negotiations concerning Donbass. But they also think that the state could find other ways to resolve the issue of volunteer fighters on the contact line.
Абсолютно держава неправильно у всіх аспектах.
Our state is misusing, in every regard, the phenomenon of volunteerism among the Ukrainian people. It has screwed up everything related to volunteers. When a person arrives out of their own volition and motivation, then they will certainly work eagerly and diligently, because they came here themselves. Nobody forced them. Why not use this fact?
More than once, the armed forces have officially stated their view on resolving the issue of volunteers. All of them should sign a contract and join the ranks of the regular army. But many of the UVA soldiers have already served in the regular army and come back dissatisfied. They don't need official salaries or social benefits. They just want to fight. So you don't want to join the official ranks?
Right, to avoid conflicts, because performing senseless orders is not our way.
Despite the fact there are no official salaries or compensation for injury or death here, both the soldiers and their commanding officers say that none of the injured company members or the families of those killed have been left without assistance. The volunteers primarily rely on private financing from government officials, including the mayors of Dnipro and Kyiv and the head of the Mykolaiv regional administration. Since 2016, the volunteers have been given various options to officially join the armed forces. However, they have yet to receive one that they could accept.
In the army, they say they don't shoot, observe, wait for our command. The Minsk agreements, Brest ceasefire, Spring ceasefire, Easter ceasefire, September the 1st ceasefire, Christmas ceasefire, ceasefire. With whom? What's this about? What is it about? I look at these photos of fallen young men. Half of my telephone contacts are dead. With whom is this ceasefire? Why ceasefire? I've got guys who lost legs. Children growing up, orphans, starting school. We know how to solve problems. With whom am I supposed to make peace and how? The army doesn't give me answers. I understand that in political processes we're supposed to make agreements another way. But that's not my job. That's the president, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They play in their own game politically to put more pressure on Russia. For my part, I'm helping the state, the president.
Clearly, we will no longer hear mention of the 8th and 5th battalions of the Ukrainian Volunteer Army, but the fighters will stay, dispersing into the Donbass steppe.
Батальйон, рівняй, струнко, розкид. Слава!